Girl, I never loved one like you.
Man, oh man, you're my best friend. I scream it too. There's nothing there ain't nothing that I need.
Well, hot and heavy pumpkin pie, chocolate candy, Jesus Christ, ain't nothing please me more than you.
Oh, let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you.
Hey, what is up guys? Topher here, bringing you another high-level Halo Wars commentary today. We're going to be playing on Repository against ILHX and Barcelona, and they'll be running Anders Arbiter. And I will be with BH I'm Too Legit, and we will be running Cutter Arbiter. So this is another continuation of the Too Easy series. And these two games are going to be on Repo, also in the same order that they were played in, just like the Beasley's games that I posted last against them. So we're just having a little epic ghost fight here, spinning in circles, because that's always fun. And I'm just going to start out this game by playing defense, because they're Anders Arbiter. Ooh, are we going to get that ghost kill? No, it doesn't. Oh, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe that second Warthog will get it. Probably not. Nope, that doesn't look like we're going to get it. But I'm going to start out by playing defense with, because they're Anders Arbiter, so they're probably going to go at least Gunner. And we're not going to go Gunner. We're just going to go straight into tanks. And so there's no point in me going on offense and getting out base damage by them going Hogs and RB on offense and me just going RB. So I'll just play that good old Temple 3rd defense and upgrade 2 pads. And wait for his Arbiter. It looks like he went. That looks like a really delayed Temple 2nd. I'm not too sure though, because his RB was all the way over there. Either he rage ran or it was. I think that was a delay, just like a Temple 2nd, but he didn't move his Arbiter. So yeah, that might be what was going on. I could be wrong though. They're going to Reactor 4th on their main. And Warthogs, we're assuming Warthogs because he's Anders. And yeah, I'm just going to sit back and wait for this Arbiter to pop up eventually. And I'm going to build a Sui to try to throw into the Arbiter. So Lucas actually, he actually has he's that person that makes Hitler videos. he always wants a shout out from me. So there you go, Lucas. But yeah, he told me that him and Too Legit lost to these two. And all LH did was like go Gunner into like all heavy pads into tanks, which isn't a bad build. But the problem with that kind of a build is when you like go a couple Gunner Hogs into a bunch of heavy pads and then into late tanks, is it gets hard countered by a candy down tech. So before the start of this game, I recommended to Legit that we should just candy down tech, and we should probably be able to steamroll, because you get such late tanks when you go for this Gunner into Eco build with Anders. So yeah, so that's what we're planning on doing with our UNSC this game. And I'm just trying to grunt the RB while getting, I got Citadel so I can get more pads queued. And yeah, so I'm trying to do my best right here to play defense on 2 people at once. Just trying to wait for Legit to get his tanks out. And so yeah, my goal is to be able to kind of stay out of sight of this Arbiter to kind of scare the Warthogs, but also like be in position to raise the Suis that are going to be porting in inevitably, which are happening right now. So already ported them in. I'm trying to get them. He's going to end up killing that heavy probably, but I do get to kill these Suis. So he only actually kills a blessed pad and unblessed pad with like 3 Suis, which isn't too bad for me. And I'm on Citadel, so my eco is better than his anyways, and I didn't waste my money building 3 Suis. I only built 1, I think. But yeah, now the Warthogs are just circling. The tank should be out pretty soon. I'm just running around trying to get the Hogs now since I already killed all the Suis. And the tanks are out, so we have 2 tanks out, and he drops another Sui in, and I should be able to get that one. And it looks like I do. I get most of that Sui. So the tanks could chase the Warthogs right here, but instead Legit opts to chase the Arbiter, because we know the Arbiter is pretty poor. And that Arbiter does not have money right now after building 4 Suicide Grunts to rage 2 tanks at once, unless he wants to get clicked a ton. And so yeah, so we're pretty much just trying to get this RB. He's just running away now, because I'm sure he's still on keep, and he does not have money to rage these 2 tanks. So I'm just going to chase his Arbiter a little more. I'm going to start raging him down because the tanks are coming in a little closer. And right now he's at the point where if he wants to use his RB, he's probably going to need a heal, which is going to put their UNSC behind. And I'm just going to keep walking down, chasing him around. Our tanks can probably be chasing him too, because he does not want to rage these tanks. He drops in another Sui for some reason, so that's like the 5th Sui he's ported in. And I'm just going to kill it. And yeah, his Arbiter is probably going to end up recalling here, and he does. So he ended up building 5 Suis in the end, and he killed a blessed and a non-blessed pad. And I think they're like all their Warthogs did was like deny 1 pad that was building, and now the Warthog's going to go in and finish that pad off. So I played pretty good defense by myself and bought enough time on myself to buy enough time for legit to get tanks out and pretty much help me push everything off. And now we're in a position where we can push up on offense and try to do some damage to the Covey base, because they probably aren't anywhere near. They might have like a stock tank right now, but we already have 2 candy tanks on offense. So I'm just going to rage his summit down, and legit doesn't want a candy because he knows that Arbiter is still alive, even though he probably would need a heal. So we're just going to drop the summits, taking our time, just shooting them. And I'm going to queue Fiendish here because I want to be able to help out with denying pads by myself. So while I can deny pads, legit can just shoot the other pads and strip him. So yeah, I'm just going to be slapping down pads because he's not queuing another pad. And yeah, we don't know where their tanks are. We're just waiting for anything to happen. We're just going to sit here pretty much until they do something about it. And I'm just going to continue to upgrade pads. There's the Arbiter. We are 3 candies still. I'm going to rage and help. Kill the RB, legit lands most of it, like all 3 of his candies, and I rage to help finish off that little bit of extra health. And the Arbiter is now dead. And it looks like they have a couple of candy tanks. I asked for a click, but I accidentally latched onto the base. It decided instead of chasing the tanks, and I could possibly kill the 3 tanks, but he might just drop a D-bomb, and there's no point of risking my Arbiter dying right here because we're on offense stripping with 3 candy tanks, and if they have to try to fight, we probably have like 1 more tank on offense than they have on defense. So if they have to fight us, like in this kind of situation, not only does he have to worry about having not a tank lead, but also an Arbiter, it's going to be pretty difficult for him. So he ends up dropping a Cryo to try to compensate for his lack of tanks. And I'm just going to rage in and start killing a tank. But he's probably going to, yep, there's the D-bomb. So we just made him spend like $1,000 on a D-bomb, on a Cryo and a D-bomb. And that is pretty costly because that definitely killed his tank pump. And it's not like he did any real damage to my Arbiter. I don't even need to heal. And we still have a good amount of tanks on offense. So legit's pulling back a little bit. I think he wants to go to the middle right now. But I don't really think we need to spend our time going to the middle. I think we should be able to keep the pressure up. So I'm building Banshees right now. I tell legit in a second here that I think we should just be heading back up on offense. And there we go. We turn back around because it's not even worth the time to really pick up that money in the middle because we already have such a big lead and we can keep the pressure on them. So why let them have any chance of like getting back in the game when we're already in this kind of a position? I'm sure getting the middle money will get me a little bit further ahead with my eco, but I'm already so far ahead that it's pretty much irrelevant. So I'm just going to be single pumping Banshees and like lurking with my RB in the background in case he tries to come in. He's just trying to like get candies off and run because he knows that my Arbiter is here. I'm just going to pull back again. I don't want to chase too far. I want to fight with my tanks, not alone. Because as long as we're fighting together, we should win pretty much every engagement, especially since they already used their Cryo and their D-Bomb. So, yeah, the tanks are still just poking in, and I'm just still single pumping these Banshees to try to deter the tanks. Their tanks are coming in and fighting our tanks. And, yeah, I'm going to go in now finally because we're going to start engaging the tanks a little bit, get a couple rage hits on, just keep running away. But he ends up canning a tank right here, it looks like. So I'll chase a little bit, and I'll hit the base again. Then I'll decide I just don't even want to waste my time again. So we're killing this base now. The Citadel, their base is red barred. and we should be able to kill this pretty easily. So yeah, the base is probably going to drop any second now. And now we're just going to be able to fight their tanks. It's been a 1v2 for a while now because we killed the Arbiter when he came in and tried to rage like a hero. And since I decided not to go raging like a hero like Barcelona did by myself, my Arbiter is still alive and it's still tough for them to push us off. So I have all these Banshees and we're just chasing the tanks. The candy down tech definitely paid off this game. You can see how much firepower we have compared to them, just because they decided to go eco build into hogs, go hogs into eco build into tanks, while we just went low eco candy down tech tanks. So we just had so much base damage, so they just ended up resigning. And now we're going to move on to game 2. So this is going to be the same exact matchup as the first one. It's going to also be their Anders Arby against our Cutter Arby. And but instead this time, we're gonna do something a little bit different here. I'm still gonna start off in a pretty standard way by going Temple third, because they still have the threat of going Hogs and RB on offense, and we'd only go RB on offense. So getting out base damage isn't fun. So yeah, I'm just going to be playing Temple third defense, but instead of candy down attacking this game, we're gonna play for a little bit more of a late game. Legit decided. So yeah, instead of like just candy down attacking, he's gonna upgrade some more pads and get double fortress and all that kind of stuff, and eventually try to get into power turret. And I'm just going to do the standard start and hopefully do it a little better, since our tanks we're not gonna have 2 quick tanks like last time. So hopefully I can play a little bit better defense this time compared to the last time, even though the last one was pretty good. But yeah, I'm just trying to sneak money on their side, get as much as I can, because every little pile crate helps. Because getting a couple extra piles could be the difference between building a Sui to run down the Arby or getting a heavy pad or something like that. So I'm just looking around, trying to find what's going on. I'm gonna shoot a warthog a little bit, and yeah, just be annoying with my ghost, because when you're seeing they're shooting you with a ghost, you're just like, what the hell, man? Just stop. Yeah, so my RB's on defense now. I'm not too sure where his RB is. I didn't go up and scout with my ghost like I did last time as early, but I'm gonna go try to do it now. And yeah, it looks like their ghost is behind our base and legit is just flaring it. And yeah, so he went 2 heavies this time. So that indicates to me that he probably doesn't have as many Suis, because if he has 2 heavies, he's obviously not putting as much money into Suis. So to compensate for him, because I recognize that he's not stacking Suis like last time nearly as much as he was the first time, I'm going to upgrade a 3rd pad instead of building a Sui early. And I see him, he rage runs up the middle and like rages my pad down. But I think in that process, he wasn't building his 4th pad. I think he just queued that 4th pad of his own. So it's kind of meh, in my opinion, as far as that goes. But yeah, their hogs are on defense this time, pushing up the hogs to uncamp, and it looks like they have 1 hog on offense. But yeah, I get this grunt out and I throw it into, I click on the RB and I'm gonna rage this hog and get stuck on my base, and I'm just going to try to kill this warthog. That's just circling my base, and bam, I grunt the RB with a pretty that's a pretty good grunt. It got him less than half health, so I'm just gonna rage run in circles. I was thinking about, I'm gonna build another Sui. I was thinking about it, but I decided to queue Citadel because the hogs are coming up on offense, and I wanted to get more supply pads. But then I reconsidered that decision and decided to DQ Citadel to rage down the Arbiter, because I know he has a couple Suis stacked up, and they want to do the same thing as last time, where they try to make my RB run to the hogs and the ports and Suis. But instead, I'm just going to kill the Arbiter, because, screw that. So the Arbiter's dead, and that's always good. And because we have a tank, the tank might be like halfway out or something. I'm just going to decide to say screw the Warthogs, and I'm just going to rage run all the way up onto offense, because I know that there's going to be a summit coming up soon. And sure, they might kill a pad off me, but as long as I'm denying the summit on offense at the same time, then it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Because eventually I should be able to get my Citadel pads up, and if I'm denying his, then I'm ahead. And I already killed his RB, so if he wants to rebuild that, then that's another $400 down the drain for him. So I told when I killed the RB, I told legit that he's probably walking a couple Suis across the map. So we'll see if he's probably gonna walk him across the map to try to like grunt my pads, and we'll see if that's true or not later on in the game. Because I'm sure he had some Suis built, and he's probably not going to get a chance to physically port them into his Arbiter on offense again this game. So I killed the Summit, and yeah, so now I'm starting to get my pads up, and he's trying to go double Summit. But I'm on his base denying them, and I'm getting my pads up because legit got his tank out, and he's just going to be able to deny. I don't know why I'm raging the Summit down. It literally just got queued, and a non-fiendish Arbiter can deny a Summit because the Summit takes 45 seconds to build. A non-fiendish Arbiter cannot deny a supply pad by itself, but it can deny a Summit. So that was pretty much a waste of money by me. I don't know why I did that during the game. I wasn't thinking, so big noob mistake right there. So I'm just going to continue. There's the suicide grunts, like I was saying. 3 suicide grunts walking across the map. But are they going to kill a pad? It does not look like it. So 3 suicide grunts, no pads killed. So that's pretty good for us. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to try to get a good eco and go Summit 7th. And then he throws a tank at me. So here's where things get a little bit dicey. I want to deny the Summit and rage a tank, so it legit asked me if I needed a click, and I said no because I denied my heavy pad. But it's really difficult to rage a tank next to pads. For those of you who have ever tried it before. So I'm trying to hit the Summit now. I realize that I'm not going to get this tank, and now I'm trying to kill the Summit. Instead, my RB latches onto the pad, and then I try to rage the Summit again, and it just doesn't work. And then I try to recall, then I die. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate because it's just like raging tanks when they're like in between 2 pads or next to a pad. It's just like your RB just goes full retard, and like whether you like if you literally click, so your RB should be going right towards the Summit or right towards the tank, your RB is still going to like fly across the whole base and hit not what you want to hit. So instead of rebuilding my RB here, I'm going to decide, since I didn't have tech on my RB, he really wasn't like worth anything to me, other than like sitting on offense for a while and trying to deny some pads. But yeah, I'm just gonna get an engineer and heal these pads that those pesky Suis walked across the map and weakened. And I'm just going to save up into vampires because there's no point in me getting my RB out. It's going to be so much money, and I'm sure he's going to be building a couple of Banshees after my Arbiter died. So yeah, I'm just going to go and try to save up into vampires and try to get into double summit vampires. And because we're playing late game against an Anders and they have their Arbiter out, we're pretty much going to play this game to try to force a base trade on them because we have bigger bases. For one, with double fortress, and I'm pretty sure they're only on fortress station. There's the Banshees that I mentioned earlier that are going to come, but we have our tank sitting in front of it, and I'm going to end up selling that other pad anyways, right here for another summit, so I can double pump vampires. But yeah, we're going to try to force a base trade because if we have air lead and bigger bases and about the same amount of tanks, I'm assuming they're building. I'm assuming they're building gremlins, so that's also like not as much base damage. So with a full pop of tanks for us against a like most pop of tanks and gremlins, and we have air lead, if we can like avoid engaging with their tanks and avoid engaging the Arbiter, we should be able to win a base trade. So that's what we're planning. A second ago, we clicked that base and saw that base was gone, so I'm going to send my Vampire to scout, and we're going to move our tanks over to the UNSC side, and we see they're not there. So I'm going to go check out what's going on up there with that base being cleared. And there's money here, and there's the Arbiter. So we could have maybe pushed down with our tanks and tried to kill the Arbiter while I was like picking up money or lurking around there. But instead, we're just going to, I think legit's trying to get into power turret right now. That's why he's not pumping any tanks. So he's saving up to build another reactor for power turret. And I'm just going to scout around my vamps. He is built single summit vampires now. And has a black bar summit still. So eventually I'm going to want to try to kill that, hopefully. And he stasis is my vampire, so I'm going to send all my vampires up because that's stupid. I don't want to lose a vampire when I have more, especially like that. But yeah, we're just continuing to scout things. Legit is playing defense on my base because that's where we think the push is going to be. The Arbiters, I have sight on the Arbiter again. Now I'm just going to fly around and try to kill the Banshees and things that are flying around. So there's a Banshee kill right there, and I'm just going to try to get a scout on the tanks. The tanks, there's a Sentinel, a Super Sentinel kill. Yari's walking over here, and here's another Banshee kill. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up everything in the air by flying around, and yeah, I'm just gonna continue to. I'm gonna bring my vampires back for the most part, and then I'm gonna scout what's going on again, the different points where they would be able to push. So yeah, so I'm gonna get stasis drain finally. Normally you want to get stasis drain after 4 vampires, but this time I went after like a lot more. Just I don't know why, but generally the rule of thumb is after you have about 4 or 5 vampires is when you want stasis drain. But yeah, here's where we see their base, and we have to go down and stop that because yeah, we just can't let them have that because they'll be able to get into a double pump of vampires eventually with that base and use their Arbiter. So, but luckily he got greedy and decided to build a supply pad first instead of a shield first. So with my vampires, I'm able to deny the shield, and we're just going to push down with our power turret and try to kill the base. So here they set us up perfectly right here. We see the RB and the tanks and the gremlins are all over here pushing up. Not only are they pushing up, but like they're a little like late to push up. I thought they were going to be sitting right outside my base waiting for something to happen. But instead, they were a little like lagging with their tanks as far as coming up on offense. And we're going to be pushing up. So I'm finally going to drop this black bar summit. And we're just going to start the base trade. The base trade that we intended to happen. So they played right into our hand this time. And I definitely have air lead because he took that base. And he built like 3 or 4 boost Banshees. And he can't fight my air, basically. But he does have a Tech 2 RB. So we still have to try to not engage that RB with the tanks. But now I'm just going to try to sell my buildings because my base is dead. I only got 2 buildings sold. But I am getting their base queued, and I do have $700, so I do have the money to buy a second base along the way. So I'm going to, with all my air, I'm going to be scouting around to see where their bases are. Trying to deny their building bases with my air lead. Legit's going to end up taking this base over here. And yeah, he's legit is going to move over from the Covey main over to the UNSC main because the UNSC main was only on a station and his expo was a fortress. I still don't understand why that happens. A lot of people do that is on the repo. They leave their station main and get fortress on their expo with Anders. But it just doesn't make sense to me because if I'm going to push onto your main, instead of just killing 2 pads and leaving, I'm going to just kill your main and drop a Mac because you decide to leave your main on station instead of putting Fortress on your main and just letting your Expo stay on station. But yeah, that's pretty long-winded. But yeah, the RB slapping down on my base, and I'm going to be able to deny their base with my vampires. So his lost timer is not restarted. Because I got to deny that base. I have vampires flying around trying to make sure I know where all their bases are building, just so that I can try to deny everything and keep their lost timers down. Because I'm not on a lost timer right now because I had that base building right when that other one died, and legit has that base with probably a pad building. He has his main. He has that a pad on that one in the middle. And he just queued that one at the top. So we have a lot of money going into this base trade. And Barcelona got defeated a second ago. So we're just going to end up winning this game. And I would like to thank you for watching. And I will see you guys